Hello, everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to learn glossary of poker terms and explore 50 essential poker vocabulary that every poker player should know.
Poker terminology.
Whether you're a beginner or an experienced player, understanding these terms is crucial for improving your poker game and becoming a more knowledgeable player. Before we begin the video,
Please subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on the notification bell to receive more related videos. Now, let's get started. Hole cards. Hole cards are the two private cards dealt face down to each player at the start of a hand of hold'em. Should only be viewed by the player. Next up are the blinds. Blinds are forced bets placed by the two players to the left of the dealer button. Blinds can either refer to the players occupying the small blind and big blind positions at the table or the fixed bets themselves, while the pre-level is a segment of a tournament where blinds remain set at specific amounts. Community cards. Community cards are the 5 cards dealt face-up in the center of the table in games, also known as the board. All players use these cards in combination with their hole cards to make the best possible hand. Pre-flop. Pre-flop refers to the stage of a poker hand that occurs after the hole cards have been dealt but before any community cards are revealed. Flop. In Texas Hold'em, the flop is the first 3 community cards dealt after the first betting round. Turn. The turn is the 4th community card dealt after the flop in Texas Hold'em. River. The river is the 5th and final community card.
flop, turn, and river can be used as verbs when you make a hand on a particular street. For example, I flopped a straight or I revered a flush.
Pot. The pot is the total amount of chips wagered by all players in a hand. The winner of the hand takes the pot. Next, stack. In poker is the total number of chips a player has at the table. If a player has many chips, it's called a big stack, while having just a few chips is a short stack. Next up, let's explore hand rankings. Hand rankings are the official way to decide which poker hands are stronger than others, and they determine which hand wins in a game. Here are the rankings and nicknames for hold'em hands. A royal flush. A royal flush is the best possible poker hand. From 10 to the ace, it's a straight flush. A straight flush. A straight flush is 5 cards in a row, all of the same suit. 4 of a kind, sometimes referred to as quads. 4 of a kind is a hand with 4 cards of the same rank. Full house. A full house or boat is a hand with 3 of a kind plus a pair. Flush. A flush is a hand with 5 random cards of the same suit, all hearts but not in numerical order. Straight. A straight is a hand with 5 consecutive cards of different suits. 3 of a kind. 3 of a kind, also known as trips or a set, is a hand that contains 3 cards of one rank and 2 cards of 2 other ranks. If a player has a pocket pair and gets their 3rd card on the flop, turn, or river, it's referred to as a set. Set mining happens when a player intentionally plays a small pair, hoping to make a set. Two pair. A 2-pair hand contains 2 different pairs. One pair. A 1-pair hand consists of 2 cards of the same value. Next, high card. High card is the worst hand a player can have. If no player has a pair or better, the player with the highest card wins the hand. Hand. A hand is a player's set of hole cards combined with the community cards to determine their best possible poker hand. Shuffle. Shuffle means to randomly order the cards before the deal. This is done before the start of every hand of poker. Deal. Deal refers to the act of distributing cards to the players in the proper sequence. Burn. Burn, a process exclusive to live poker, involves the dealer discarding the top card from the deck before dealing the flop, turn, or river, effectively removing it from the game. Dealer button. The dealer button is a small, circular disc that rotates clockwise around the table to indicate the dealer position for each hand. Small blind. The small blind is the forced bet made by the player to the left of the dealer button in Texas Hold'em. Big blind. The big blind is a larger forced bet made by the player to the left of the small blind in Texas Hold'em. Steal the blinds. This is where a player bets pre-flop not wanting to be called. They just want to take the chips contributed by the two players who've posted the blinds. Defend the blinds means not folding from either the small blind or big blind position when there's been a raise before the flop. Street. Street refers to each betting round in a hand, which occurs after specific cards are dealt. Action. Action refers to the decision a player takes on each betting street. Bet. To bet is to place chips into the pot, particularly when you're the first player to do so. Muck. Mucking is when a player surrenders their hand without showing their cards, indicating defeat. Call. To call means to match someone else's bet without raising, allowing you to stay in the hand. If it's pre-flop and the initial bet is the big blind, calling is known as limping. Check. To check means to pass on betting. They either tap the table or say the word check, and the action then passes to the next player. In a situation where no one has raised pre-flop and the player in the big blind is given the chance to check or bet, this is known as their option. Raise. To raise means when a player wants to increase the size of a previous bet made by another player. Re-raise. A re-raise in poker occurs when a player raises after another player has already made a raise in the same betting round. Essentially, it's a raise on top of an existing raise. For example, player A bets, player B calls, player C raises, the initial raise, player D re-raises. This is called re-raise. A 3-bet is a re-raise that occurs after an initial bet and a raise. It's the third bet in the sequence, hence the name. A 4-bet is when a player raises after a 3-bet. A 5-bet is a raise following a 4-bet, and the pattern continues. Check and raise. Check and raise is a strategic move where a player checks initially but then raises after an opponent bets. Fold. To fold means a player to surrender their hand, don't want to call the bet. If a player folds a really good hand is known as a laydown. All in. Going all in means a player bets all of their remaining chips in a single wager. They are then eligible to win a portion of the pot up to the amount they bet, also known as shoving, pushing, or jamming. Showdown. In poker, a showdown is the phase of a hand where the remaining players show their hole cards at the end and compare their hands to determine the winner. Bluff. Bluff means making bets or raises with a weak hand, aiming to trick other players into folding stronger hands. Semi-bluff. A semi-bluff is basically bluffing with a draw. It is a tactic where a player bets with a weak hand that could improve. Tilt. Tilt refers to a player's emotional state when they make irrational decisions due to frustration or anger. Nuts. In poker, the nuts refers to the best possible hand in a given situation. Donk bet. A donk bet happens when a player, instead of checking, bets first after calling a raise on the previous street. It's sometimes called that because newer players often do it without thinking. C-bet, which means a continuation bet. It's also known as barreling. A C-bet is when the player who raised last in the previous round is the first to bet in the next round. Drawing dead. When a player is drawing to a hand that cannot win, they are said to be drawing dead. Pot odds. Pot odds are the ratio of the current size of the pot to the cost of a contemplated call. Split pot. When two or more players have equally strong hands, they share the pot. Ante. An ante is a forced bet that all players must put into the pot before the start of a hand. It's a way to build the initial pot and create action. Bubble. The bubble is the last position in a tournament before the remaining players win prizes. Wash. Wash is a method of shuffling, where the dealer puts all the cards face down in a pile and mixes them around.
Those are the basics. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If there's anything else you'd like to know, leave a comment, and turn on the notification bell to receive more about poker videos. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.